Young women have an important warning for anyone trying on clothes in a dressing room.
And I'm putting this out because this message is important not only for people in dressing rooms, it's important for females in bathrooms, it's important for females in locker rooms or the showering, anything, any place where females expect to be safe and to have some sort of protection. But, they want to integrate all of the safe spaces for women, and it does not work. There are too many sick people who will follow these people and kill them. But let's listen to this story, which was on Inside Edition.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. They'll go for anyone.
They say you need to be vigilant because someone may be watching.
I was in a state of undress. My clothes were scattered about the floor. I look down and I see a phone propped up on a pair of jeans.
Emily Lang says she was trying on Halloween costumes at a Forever 21 store when she got the fright of her life. She snapped this photo of the peeper's cell phone before he ran off.
I think I was a little bit in shock. You don't think about dressing room being, a dangerous place until you hear this story, because cell phones are everywhere.
The same thing happened to then 15-year-old Annabelle Davis when she was trying on swimsuits at a Target in Kansas.
I'm starting to undress. I'm starting to put a new swimsuit on, and as I'm looking through the mirror, I notice a phone propped above the doorway like this, and
now that's the same thing that happens in restrooms. As you're in a vulnerable position, people can take a cell phone and prop it above the doorway where you're not looking under the doors, under the stall panels, or in other places where you might not be observant. So it can make you very vulnerable and can lead to stalking, beatings, and murders.
Obviously the camera was on me. I could tell it wasn't just like an accident. You could tell it was intentional, because who puts their phone above a doorway like that?
Since there is no sexual contact or violence in peeping Tom cases, some may dismiss the voyeurism as a relatively harmless or victimless crime. But experts we've spoken to say that is simply not true.
These types of crimes can have long-lasting consequences. When survivors know what has happened to them, they can experience trauma, anxiety, and avoidance behaviors, as well as fear.
It's a sexually motivated crime, and it should be treated as such.
And get this, the same creep is responsible for both incidents. Anthony DeLapp served 3 years in prison, but apparently he hasn't learned his lesson, because cops say he did it again.
And people with these sorts of problems, these sorts of mental problems, voyeurism, raping, sexual molestation, and so forth, are not curable. You cannot put them in jail for a period of time and expect them to come out healed. They will come out with the exact same problems they went in with, and they might even be worse.
Was just arrested.
Oh, you're a pervert! Filming a child!
That's not me.
You filmed my child in the dressing room! You're lucky I don't shoot you!
Kimberly Blevins says her 20-year-old daughter saw DeLapp recording her as she tried on bras in a Walmart dressing room.
I was instantly white-hot angry that somebody would do that to her, that somebody would violate her privacy like that. She's really traumatized and feels really confused.
Sometimes these people will actually put holes in walls if they are doing it continuously, if they're doing it repeatedly. They might do it at your school's bathroom. So it could be employees who have a wall that's shared by the children's bathrooms, and they can put a permanent hole in the wall and photograph the children. And these photos, of course, can be uploaded onto the internet and cause trauma forever, because you never know where your picture's going to show up, and you're never going to get over the feeling of insecurity and vulnerability.
Because she wasn't physically touched by this man, but he violated her privacy and her sense of safety in a way that she's not going to recover from for a long time. This is not a victimless crime.
Our investigation found other cases across the country of creeps busted for spying on women in changing rooms. Peepers like this guy, Corey McKinley.
We're investigating a sex offense right now.
He was arrested after spying on women while changing in dressing rooms at this Nordstrom Rack in Ohio.
The report was that someone matching your description was filming with a camera in the dressing room, underneath the dressing room.
This is one of the unisex dressing rooms in the Nordstrom Rack where the peeping took place. Can you imagine dressing here, looking down and seeing a cell phone recording your every move?
The thing is that they're not just using cell phones, they're using all sorts of cameras, which are body cameras. They can be very small, they can be hidden, they can be in the form of a pen, they can be very, very hard to discern. So you having male and female shared spaces where people are going to be very vulnerable, people are going to be taking their clothes off and not able to protect themselves, is a very, very bad idea, and just leads to increased spying, eavesdropping, and the attacks on the vulnerable people. It can even be men spying on men or women spying on women, but usually it's men on women, and of course both sexes, boys and girls, can be vulnerable to these crimes.
Police say these photos show Corey McKinley caught in the act. After the voyeurism incident here, cops seized Corey McKinley's phone, and digital forensic investigators say they were able to recover hundreds of photographs of women in various states of undress. Mr. McKinley, I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. Why did you spy on women? He was with his wife when we tried to talk to him. Why did you secretly tape women who were getting dressed in a dressing room? Are you a dressing room peeping Tom, sir? Why would you do that?
And peeping Toms are the beginning of a big, big problem. People often start out peeping through windows and so forth. That's always been a problem. But with cameras, of course, they make permanent imprints of the things they're seeing, so they can be used to blackmail people, humiliate people, embarrass people, and to set up brain systems where they are just focused on the person in a pathological state. So we must keep safe spaces for women. I know the men want to come in all the women's dressing rooms. They want to come in the women's bathrooms. They want to come in the women's locker rooms. But I say no men in the women's spaces. Women have to have a safe space, or these problems are just going to become bigger and bigger. More trauma to women. So what do you think? Like and subscribe. Bye.